Semen retention, what to expect. This is speaking from personal experience. I've been doing it for, what is it, 11 months? 11. 11 months. And I'm currently on a 51-day streak. I've had multiple 30-day streaks in that time period. But yeah, this is the PR. I'm on the PR right now. I'm going. Knock on wood, keeps going. It is it's a battle every day. It's a battle every day. When you do this, you'll realize that it's a battle every day. But I want to get into what you can expect. First of all, if you are clicking on this and you are literally just like day one, you don't know what semen retention, if it's a real thing or not. Because I that's like a main thing out there is like, there's so much that says that semen retention is just like a scam or a fad or it doesn't work or blah, 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 blah. I know that's what mainstream like articles on Google will say, like on the first page if you type it in or whatever. I know there's a lot of information that will say that out there. I believe that it is absolutely a real thing, but that is only something, this is only an understanding that I came to by actually doing it. So if you are thinking about doing it, or like just curious about it, or you want to know if it works or not, and you're watching this YouTube video to see oh, does this work? Like, I want to see if they say that it works. What does this guy say? Does it seem like it works? Because I don't want to waste my time or anything like that. It definitely works, 100%. But I can't make you know that. No matter how many things you read and how many videos you watch and how good it sounds on paper or theoretically in your mind, no matter how much sense it makes or sense it doesn't make, it can't get you to actually do it successfully. That knowledge can't get you there. The only way you can do it successfully and actually witness the benefits is if you actually do it and realize what this thing does yourself. You have to be your own truth machine. You can no longer be looking toward this search engine or this video or this article to tell you what's true. You actually have to be the guinea pig and put yourself through it and decide for yourself. Does it work? Maybe it won't work for you. I don't see how that's possible unless you are celibate already. But what can you look to see? What can you expect, right? For me, speaking from my own personal journey, I don't think that once you break your streak, it's like you literally undone everything you did. I don't believe that. Breaking your streak is not good, and it's not something that you want to do. But I think that you build up, streaks on streaks on streaks, even if there are relapses in between, is much better than the current status quo of what you're probably doing. Most guys, they ejaculate every single day, some multiple times a day. So you starting to be more sexually disciplined, you are going to witness benefits in your life. And just because you have a relapse doesn't mean that, everything's torn to shit and you have to start over from day one. It's not necessarily like that. But you want to keep streaks alive because it builds and builds and builds. Personally, within the first month, I noticed a lot more energy. I could do more things. I didn't get as stressed out like doing things. I just felt like organically I was doing more. And it's not something where you don't even feel like you're trying to do things. It's not like you're going out of your way like, oh, I got to do this, or you're not forcing it. It's just natural. It's completely organic. You're just doing things. You're just naturally doing more. And then you notice it. You're like, oh, like, I didn't used to do all this. I'm like cleaning now around the house, and I'm going out and doing more errands, and I'm thinking about more things, and these things don't really, it's almost like you come from a place of pure survival where your brain was like in survival mode because you were working on such a low amount of energy, because this is a huge source of energy, and it's core energy. It is the universal energy. It's the most powerful energy that there is, and it's very pure, like it's very sharp, pure quality. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like the quality of this energy. It's very intelligent, it's very discerning, it's very balanced. There's a very balanced energy. There are all sorts of manufactured energy that you can get out there by taking this substance or popping this pill or whatever, and they're all different sorts of, the quality is not there. They're either very frantic or very just numbing or whatever. There's nothing like core energy, and sexual energy is just pure core energy. I mean, is the universal energy, and for a man, I mean, this is masculine energy. So I'll get into that in a little bit, but I noticed that I had more energy. And that was mostly the only thing that I noticed initially, for like my first like 30 days or 40 days or so. Then like the second month, third month, with some relapses in there, I got, just out of the blue, I got offered like a second job, and it just like completely worked out, like just like that. And you'll notice like the universe starts to work for you. You'll notice this. If you do it long enough, you'll notice that the universe starts to work for you, because you are a more powerful energy conduit. You have more core energy. You can get more done in the world. And the universe senses that. It knows that you now it can work through. You're a vessel that it can work through. It knows that. It just knows that you are a vessel that it can work through. So it will use you in that way. And so I got that second job and started making more money. Living situation improved. I moved, and then it improved again because I moved again after that. Got a car. Whereas like I was riding my bike, I was riding the bus. I was just not in a good place in life. I was just not in a good place in life. And got a car, started driving. I mean, just tons of things started happening. Moved up at my work to managing part time there now. And so you just see like this is strange. Like at a certain point, you're just like, okay, this is too strange. It's too strange. Like it's not just coincidence that once I start doing this, I've struggled my entire life to like do anything really. I mean, I would just have dead end jobs. I would just say that like I had the same 9 to 5 job or 3 to 11 job, and I had no skill set. I had no motivation. I didn't want to go to school. I had nothing. I had no motivation to do anything. I was just like, yo, like whatever. I had, because I was in survival mode, because I had such low energy, and this might be where you're at too. You have such low energy, core energy, that your body is using all of its energy to just keep you alive. Basically, it's just using all its energy just to keep you alive, and keep your sexual organs working, and your heart working, and your heart thumping, and your brain sort of working on a very low level, but it just wants to keep the organism alive. That's what it's prioritizing. And this is what causes you to be very stressed. You might feel like you have no motivation, you have no desire, you just can't do anything, you can't seem to care about anything, and you got no spark or creativity. There's no flow of like organic energy. You feel like you have to force everything. You feel like everything's a chore. Everything just feels like it feels out of your just your ability, right? You feel like you're going outside yourself to do just basic stuff. just basic stuff. Anything other than going to work because you need to work to survive, you're not working at a high level, and then you come home and you just veg, and you can't do anything else because it's too much on your brain, it's too much on the hard drive, you know. If that experience, if you can relate to that, then this is for you. Semen retention is for you, because that's something that I was very familiar with. That was my experience for most of my life. And it's almost like semen retention is like you're starting to put gas in the motor, you know, where you had nothing before. It was just running on fumes. Now you're filling it, and each day that goes by, you're putting more and more gas in there. And you know, now you're putting oil in. It's like a car that was just completely busted, and now you're fixing it up. You're putting oil, and everything's starting to get lubricated, and the car's coming to life. And it's literally like you were dead before, and now you are coming alive again. You know, blood is starting to flow through you again. The electricity is starting to spark through you again. That probably sounds appealing, right? So that was, you know, after a few months. And then it started to be more of mood. And you start to notice other things that you're doing in your life that you need to cut out. You start to notice like bad habits and bad behaviors and stuff like that. You think completely, you can handle stress now. In stressful situations, you can not only survive stressful situations, whereas that might have been your state of being before. You would get very stressed, but you could survive it, right? Now in stressful situations, what could be considered previously a very stressful situation for you, it's almost like you don't even feel the stress at all. It's like the stress don't even touch you. You don't even feel stressed, but you know that the situation you're in was something that used to stretch you out. Yeah. Stress you out. It used to really stress you out. The strangest thing about it, this is one thing that I've noticed in myself. Crazy. It almost feels like there is a force field surrounding you. It almost feels like there's a wall of energy that just, a cocoon of energy that's just getting stronger around you. And you're becoming more and more impenetrable to the outside world. It's a very interesting feeling. Because now with like very stressful, what would have been a very stressful situation, like at work or something, I don't get stressed, and I just think through it. I think clearly while I'm in it, while things are happening. It's almost like you can think faster and smarter and more efficiently than other people around you. You start to notice that. You start to notice that it's almost like you're operating on a higher RAM, you know, like your what is that? The memory or something. Your RAM is just higher. You know, everybody's running on like a 4 gigabyte RAM, and you're on, you know, 128. Well, that might be too much, but 32. If you continue to do this for a very long time, I don't see how it wouldn't go up to very high levels. You just start to feel like you're operating more efficiently than others around you. Efficiently. There's no wasted movements. There's no wasted action. You're seeing what needs to be done very clearly. You're only thinking about that. Whereas everybody else is like in their own mind, just like telling themselves a story of what's going on, and, you know, getting emotional about it, and the saying that, you know, thinking about how it was their fault, and like, you know, how this happened, and blah, 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 blah. And it's overwhelming to even think of the solution. Whereas like, you're just like, okay, what's wrong? Okay, solution. What's the best solution here? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, got it. And then like, you're just on to the next thing, and you solve it. And people around you can sense it too. It's like, that's another thing. I mean, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention people around you can very much sense this. And they don't even, the crazy thing is, you know that they're sensing it, but they don't know that they're sensing it. They know that they're sensing something. They just know that all of a sudden you've become a more attractive person to them, whether it's men or women that are looking at you. They will start to sense that this is a more attractive person. For some reason, I'm just gravitated more towards him now. There's something there, but they're not even going to register on that level. They're just going to be like, oh, like they'll just kind of light up or like kind of think well of you and look at you a lot, and you get more looks. You get a lot more looks, especially from women. That is a thing. But you get used to a lot of these things. It's almost like they start to happen so much you get used to a lot of them. But yeah, the attention that you get from other people is it's almost unsettling in a way. It's sometimes it's a little much. It's like this is just, it's almost like it happens in situations that it just shouldn't happen in. Like you're not even trying to do anything. You don't even look like you're not done up or anything. Like you're just in like some slummed out clothes and like you're just like doing something that's just normal. Like you're not trying to be anything. You're not trying to do anything impressive. You don't have a smile on your face. You're not trying to charm anybody. But the person that you're interacting with, or somebody just comes and helps you with something, or like they want to interact with you. They really enjoy talking with you. For some reason, people want to talk to you more. Like you'll notice when you have any sort of interactions with people, especially at work, they'll want to keep the conversation going. For some reason, it's just BS, especially with women. Like, they just want to keep the conversation going with you. They'll just be asking stupid questions. They'll just be saying stupid things that just like, you don't even need to be talking to me about this, but it'll just be like one more thing. They'll just try to keep you like a little bit longer. You'll know stuff like that. Just certain things where it's just like, this is too much. It's too much. Because you start to laugh at it. You're like, it's almost like you look at the universe and you're like, really, bro? Like, this is just obvious. Like, you start to see like how obvious it is, and you're like, is this really what's going on? Like, you're really just going to be this obvious with it? Because now it's like you're seeing like you have a cheat code. It's strange. It's strange. Very strange. Started to get better, like with posture. Your posture just naturally gets better. Strength. I've noticed very recently, this didn't happen overnight, but very recently, now I'm starting to feel like younger in my body. I feel stronger. I feel more spry. I feel like I'm like lubricated now. Like my joints are lubricated. My back feels a lot better than it used to. I used to have very, very big issues with my back. Um, like it would just go out if I like ever like moved a certain way. That's why I stopped weightlifting. And now I haven't had it go out at all. Like at all. Like it feels great. Like I'm weightlifting again. Like I'm in the gym again. So, um, yeah, just all these things. It's almost like it just regenerates you. It regenerates the entire organism, your brain, your body. You start operating on a higher level because your body is no longer just like solely focused on keeping you alive with the limited energy that you have, because you're literally ejaculating that energy out into the universe, out into the world for absolutely no gain. In the sense, especially if like you're looking at porn and you're ejaculating, nothing could be further from the truth. You are literally just alone in your room. There's, your brain thinks that you're Dan Bilzerian times 1,000, but you're really just alone in your room, or alone on the toilet. So there's a huge disconnect between what your brain thinks is real and what what is actually real. What is actually real in baseline reality. It couldn't be further from the truth. But yeah, just huge changes all around. You just get better as an organism. going back to what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. Because you're not so stressed, because you're not in survival mode, that your body's just literally just trying to keep you alive and keep your sex organs functioning and your heart beating and your brain working at a very low capacity, which is basically how everybody's operating now today. That's basically how everybody operates in the world today. They can go to work, they can think very limitedly on a very low level, they can, they can eat, they can fuck, and then they go home and they just veg out. That's literally the entire process of life for most people out there. They're not actually like thriving. They're not like leveling up in life. They're not leveling up. They're just literally just like level 30, and then they're like good with that, and probably lowers as time goes on because they age and stuff like that. But now that you're not in this survival mode, now that your body is retaining energy, you're literally holding all this energy in. That's literally the universal energy. It's the most powerful energy in the universe. It's the masculine energy too. So now you are naturally becoming more masculine. Just everything about you. You won't even have to try. You won't even have to try. There's nothing that you have to try with this. All you have to do is just not touch yourself, and everything else will take care of it for you. It will literally just, you'll start to just act in more masculine ways. You'll just adapt a more masculine manner, behaviors, the ways that you speak, how you talk to people, eye contact, everything, charisma, all this stuff. It's all really just subconscious. It's all just energetic. It's all things that you don't really think about. These aren't things that, they're not techniques. They're not ways of, like, there's so many videos out there that are like, oh, the way to be masculine is like, you got to do this, and you got to say this, and you got to say it in this way, and you got to have this about you, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you can't teach these things. These are things that are just innate in you if you're doing the right things. If you're holding your masculine energy in you, if you literally have masculine energy within you, doesn't it make sense that you would be masculine? If you don't have masculine energy in you, if you're just expending it onto the floor, nobody's doing that, are they? Into a napkin. If you're expending it, period, then you're not going to have, it's just, that masculine energy is no longer inside you. You don't have energy. You don't have masculine energy. You're not going to operate well in this world. It's crazy. But nobody is doing this. Nobody is doing this. And most people out there kind of suck, if you haven't noticed. Most people are just kind of, they're like a D-. They're just like, most people out there, you don't even want to really be around or interact with. You're just like that. Might clue you in, you know? All right, this video's gone on long enough, man. I'm done. Semen retention works. Give it a try. That's the only way you're going to know these things for yourself. Have fun.